Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the pleasure of sitting down with a young man that I met a couple of weeks ago, and I was just so inspired by his testimony, his story, that I definitely wanted to share it because it's something that is very relevant in our community, in our time, and unfortunately, a lot of young people are suffering from this, and sometimes some older people are. Ladies and gentlemen, today my guest is Mr. Julian Andrews with mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and also from the nonprofit foundation, Find Something Purple. Julian, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super honored to be here.
Well, Julian, it is a pleasure for me to sit down with you. You know, when I came to the program that you were at, and along with Tracy and some other folks, and I'm sitting there, and my mouth was hanging open, because you spoke about something that a lot of times we want to shy away from, we want to hide it or not recognize it.
Right.
But before we jump into that, Julian, if you don't mind, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Julian Andrews, 26 years old, from LaGrange, Georgia. Born and raised, but I have lived here kind of off and on, traveled around. I lived in Dallas, Texas for a few years. I've lived in Atlanta for a few years, but as many say, I always get pulled back to Troup County. So I did, and started this foundation and this movement when I saw that we really needed a resource and needed a change here.
Yeah, very good. Well, you know, talking to Dallas, I was out in Dallas last month, and the heat index there.
Oh, man, yeah.
I know why you moved back, but you moved back to the humidity though, right?
It was worse than, Dallas was worse than the California heat index, I'm telling you.
Absolutely. And Julian, another little known fact about you, we're talking about mental health awareness and finding something purple. And there may be people that may be watching that know you, and you had an identical twin.
I did. He was born and raised here as well. Relocated to Atlanta a little after I did. And then he lived up there for, I believe 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And then unfortunately, he took his life in April of 2021. So that's kind of the basis and main foundation of why I started this nonprofit organization.
Wow. And identical twins. And identical twins have a bond that's a little bit special than fraternal twins, right?
I tell people all the time, twin telepathy, it was a real thing.
Oh my goodness, could be scary, right?
Yeah, when my ear would ring, I'd send them a text out in Dallas, Texas. I'd say, hey, is your ear ringing? I get a text back, yep.
Oh, wow.
And wouldn't skip a beat.
Wow. Now, and your organization, Find Something Purple, how did that come about?
So that started actually with my mom, talking to him one night. I believe it was a 2 or 3 a.m. phone call. He had called her. He was struggling with his mental health. She was going through some things at the time too. So her method that she does is water her flowers out in her garden. Turns out for a great garden. But she told him, she said, Joseph, if all else fails, find something purple. Stop what you're doing right now. Look around your room, go outside, look outside while you walk your dog. Tell me the first thing you find that's purple.
Wow.
And it kind of started a method with him. And he would later teach other people to do, if everything that you practice, whether it be your medication, your routine, anything, if that fails, stop what you're doing, look out, find something purple. It'll occupy your mind to find purple, with it being somewhat of a rare color in nature. And once you do it, you realize it, your mind's slowed down. You're not thinking about what you're going through. You're not thinking about whatever's happening tomorrow. And it kind of brings you a sense of peace. Wow.
That's so inspiring. And you're finding something purple because, you know, with all the colors and the hues and the various things, when you do that, find that something purple, I guess it will just kind of a calming effect, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. And let me ask you, why is this so relevant and so important in our time right now, Julian?
I think especially after COVID hit, I was an EMT out in Dallas. I noticed a lot of people were breaking away from their normal routines, and they were somewhat isolating themselves due to the shelter in place. That became their routine. And when you sit through periods of isolation and you stay by yourself, you kind of get into that habit of feeling sad. You're not doing your normal things where you're getting out, being around people, seeing the world. So I thought it was important to start something where people can break away from that, number one. Number two, they know that it's okay to not be okay. And they have a place where they can talk. one of the big questions that I'm always asked is, how much do you charge for this? I'll let them know, I would never charge you a dime. This is something I do completely free because I believe everybody deserves at least a place to talk, at least to have a place where they can go if they need the resources to better themselves.
Wow. No charge for it whatsoever. Right. Let me ask you now, going back to you and your brother, very close.
Right.
Were there signs, symptoms, or anything that you recognized that may have?
We saw a few signs. I believe it was 2 weeks before it happened. I immediately called him, said, hey, I'll fly out to Atlanta if I need to. Called my mom. She drove up to see him. We talked it out. Everything was good. And over those next 2 weeks, I mean, it was great. Everything was fine. He had recently got a promotion, gotten a raise. He was working with different organizations in the community, and everything seemed fine. And that's why I think it's important to educate the public, educate people to see those different small signs, those small symptoms, because it can be someone that's just going to work, smiling, going about every day.
Wow. You know, when you think about that, and I was equating to someone that I know, and in alcoholic world, we call them dry drunks.
Right.
You know, so your brother was going through the motion of doing all the various things and masking, no doubt, to make it seem like everything was okay when inside. And you mentioned about talking. So many times people that may be going through issues, challenges, changes, they, as you said, they turn inward to themselves. Your organization, and I'm sure, you know the importance of being, when someone shares stuff with you, how important to keep that. What would you say to someone that would want to come to your organization?
I would let them know there's no judgment whatsoever. I never cast judgment. I want them to be as open and honest as they need to be about anything. Essentially, again, providing that safety around them to hear what they're going through.
Right.
It's extremely important. I try to stress that the brain is the most important organ of the body. Mental health that goes with that, hand in hand.
Yeah.
So I want to be sure that they can come to me. Anybody can, no matter the age, no matter what they're going through. Everybody's feelings to me are equally important.
Yeah. And you were saying you live here, work here in the LaGrange area. You work for WellStar.
Yes, sir.
Talk about what you're doing there with WellStar.
So right now with WellStar, I am in materials management. So we just make sure the hospital has all the supplies they need, equipment. I recently started working with a mental health team that they recently started. What we want to do is we want to set up a resource for those that do need, I guess you could say, progressed mental help, meaning if talking is not the option, you do need to see a doctor. We want to be able to set something up to where they can come to us. We do have more resources to where they can see a physician, but also have a team that if you do come into the ER or you do come to WellStar just needing to talk, we have members there that can. And so that's something that we're working on, putting together, and really are getting the ball rolling on.
Very good. Our young people, I think a lot of times that they are faced with so many different challenges of today, school, athletics, much like I did when I was, but they're also, you got media, you got all the other various things. If there was a young person that was watching and they may have had some thoughts about various things, maybe harming themselves or various, what would you say to them?
I would always let them know that they're not alone. One of the biggest things I think in today's time for kids that can help, or our younger generation, is taking a break from social media. A lot of people kind of downplay that. I did it myself for 3 months, and it was one of the best things. I saw so much growth, but it really takes away the urge to be on social media. It gives you more time to go out and do what you want to do to help yourself. I believe that our younger generation definitely goes through a lot more than what I went through 10 years ago, going through school. They're very strong, but they're also very desensitized due to the events that have happened that they've had to go through growing up. And so I think they do deserve a place that they can talk about it because that's not really provided to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just our young folks, but, any age people. Because, Tracy, and I'm going to butcher up her last name, Tracy. That's where I met you at a program that she was doing. And we recognize that September is known as Suicide Prevention Month, and she'll be having a program on the square on Saturday, September the 16th at 5:30. And I know that you'll be there. And you're working with her now. Talk about what you're doing virtually with her, if you don't mind.
So we do meetings every fourth Tuesday of every month. We noticed that we had a large group of members start, it slowly declined, we'd get another large group. So we sat down and talked about it. And I said, well, Tracy, we're doing our meetings at, I believe, 6:30 on the fourth Tuesday. So a lot of people are getting off work. A lot of people would travel. We had someone travel, I believe, 2 hours to come to one meeting after work. And so I said, why not set something up to where they can be in the comfort of their home and still attend that meeting. So what we're starting with this next one is a hybrid session where we do it virtually via Zoom. They're able to come in, attend that meeting via Zoom. They're able to share the feedback after they've gotten off work. Their kids are home from school. They've cooked the kids dinner. They're still able to attend that meeting. That way it's still giving them the resource they need and giving them the comfort of their home.
Very good. If there was someone watching and they wanted to know more about finding something purple, how can they get in touch with you? Or if they just wanted to talk with you, because you have a story, and we didn't get all into it today like we did at the meeting. And I'm sitting there again. I'm like, oh my God! If someone wanted to get in touch with you, Julian, how could they do that?
Facebook is the quickest and easiest way. My foundation actually has a website, still under construction though, with us being relatively new. But Facebook is where I post the most updates. I believe each post has a message option to where they can send me a message. I've had a number of people reach out that way. I'm able to respond back relatively quickly, typically same day, and communicate with them. If they need to do a phone call, we can do a phone call to where I talk them through whatever they're going through. I'm actually on my way down here in traffic. Had someone call me and we talked for about 45 minutes. And she was just saying how life was kind of catching up to her. She felt overwhelmed. And I said, okay, well, let's sit down and talk about it. And we really didn't even talk about that much about life, everything that was bothering her, but she just had someone to talk to. And she told me at the end of the phone call, she said, I cannot thank you enough, number one, but number two, if I would have had this phone call yesterday, I probably wouldn't feel this way today, but I feel better now. Just talking about what's going on, it kind of slowed her down and helped her.
Very good. Closing up, one last thing. What's next for Find Something Purple?
We do have that event. We've got the meetings. My big thing that I want to do is get in our state capitol. I really want to work with legislators to push more on mental health, to provide better access to patients that need it, and pass laws to raise more awareness to where it's taught to our younger generation, our older generation. There's no age limit. There's no start date. There's no end date to healing. I want to be sure to push that across the state of Georgia.
Very good. Wow. Well, Julian, anything that I can do to help with that, I want to thank you very much for taking time and coming down today to share this information, because it's something that is very needed, very relevant. Mental health awareness, finding something purple, find something purple. Thank you very much for being on guest today. And definitely not the last time.
Definitely won't be.
All right, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week. And as always, it's always time now for us to jump on over to visit LaGrange to see what the lineup is for events that will be taking place. So we're going to toss it on over to Lynne Holle. Lynne, let's hear all about it.
Thank you, Alton. Good morning. I'm Lynne Holle with Visit LaGrange. Today I'm going to be going over the events that will be happening in and around LaGrange during the week of August 21st through August 27th. So let's get started. Thursday, August 24th at 6 p.m., Junior Service League's 50th anniversary celebration at the Delavan Event Center. This year, the Junior Service League of LaGrange celebrates 50 years. This cocktail attire event will feature live entertainment, sentimental food that's featured in the cookbooks, and an evening of fun with past and present members. To purchase tickets, go to jsloflagrange.com/50th anniversary. Friday, August 25th at 6 p.m., the third annual Troup County NWTF banquet at the Delavan Event Center. All right, folks, it's that time of year again. The third annual Troup County National Wild Turkey Federation banquet will be on Friday night, August 25th this year. They will be at a new venue this year. Come join them at Delavan in downtown LaGrange. There will be live music, guest speakers, free beer, raffles, gun raffles, live auctions. Also backed by popular demand, for dinner they will be rolling out the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet again. This is sure to be their biggest banquet yet and one you won't want to miss. Shoot them a message to get your tickets or reserve a table. Hope to see everyone there. Saturday, August 26th from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Do-it-yourself raised bed gardening workshop at Hills and Dales Estate. Have you tried growing your own vegetables only to discover your yard is full of sand, clay, or contaminant? Or do you live in an area where a traditional garden just isn't feasible? Raised bed gardening might be the solution you need. Join Hills and Dales ground manager Chris Smith and horticulture manager Johanna Bang as they demonstrate how to prepare your site, choose your soil, and build a raised bed garden. Participants will leave with their own raised bed kit and some winter vegetables to help get them started. The cost is $65 per person. The workshop fees include supplies and refreshments. Space is limited and pre-registration is required. Registration for non-members began Tuesday, August 15th. Call 706-882-3242 or email info@hillsanddales.org to register. Saturday, August 26th from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday Night Alive featuring The Breakdowns, a Tom Petty tribute at Wild Leap Brew Company. Join us the last Saturday of every month for free live music, amazing craft beverages, food trucks, and more. All ages are welcome, free entry. So Alton, those are just a few of the events that are happening in and around LaGrange during the week of August 21st through August 27th. My hope is that everybody will get out and enjoy some fun and stay safe.
Lynne, I want to thank you for letting everybody know about all those things coming up. And as always, I know that the public will come out and fully enjoy all the activities in our community. So we want to thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and also Find Something Purple. I had on the CEO and founder, Mr. Julian Andrews, as he talked about give him a call if you need to talk. As you heard him say, he had a call from someone as he was driving to the show, and he helped them to feel better about whatever it was that they were going through. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to reach out and talk with him a little bit more, you can find him on Facebook, as he told you. And also, I want to just mention that on September the 16th, there will be an event held down on the square in reference to suicide prevention. So ladies and gentlemen, come on out, let's talk about it. Let's make sure that we all have someone that we can talk to. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed my show today. And as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.